Calgary Police Service has charged 3 people in relation to assaults that took place during a demonstration in downtown Calgary. During the evening of Friday, July 18, 2014, a large demonstration took place on Macleod Trail near City Hall. Several people from opposing sides clashed and a number of altercations took place. Police were called and immediately responded to the area. We took the incident seriously and assigned detectives from our Centralized General Investigations section the next morning. The investigators were proactive, reaching out to potential victims and conducting a thorough, unbiased investigation. We are in regular contact with the victims that have come forward, as well as their legal representative, and they understand and appreciate the process we are following. Although the investigation continues, the Centralized General Investigation section, by the Centralized General Investigation section, the following people have been charged relating to 3 assault victims. Aziz Mohammed MADI, 18 years old, of Calgary, is charged with 2 counts of assault. A 16-year-old male from Calgary, not able to be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, is charged with 1 count of assault. And Arlsan Han, 27, of Calgary, is charged with 1 count of assault. The 3 accused are scheduled to next appear in court September 15th. We expect charges against a 4th man to be laid within the next 24 hours or so, and his name will be released at a later time. The investigation into the events that took place at the demonstration continues, and to assist with the investigators, we're seeking public assistance to identify a man who will have information to further the investigation. He is described as having an olive skin tone, dark hair with a slim build, and speaks with an accent. He was wearing jeans and a white t-shirt with a deluxe logo on it, with white runners and a tan baseball cap. And his hands and his clothing were stained with paint, with white paint. We're asking anyone that has information on any of these incidents and anybody that knows who this particular individual is to please call us or call Crime Stoppers.
The person you just described, is that the 4th person you're talking about?
No, this is a separate person.
Are they wanted for charging, or do you want them just for?
Well, one of the challenges with these investigations is we need to do an investigation to determine what actually took place. So for this individual that we're releasing the photograph, what we're asking for is for people, if they know who this person is or the person sees themselves, is to phone us so that we can have a conversation with them and find out exactly what role, if any, they played in this.
That 4th person you mentioned, are they already in custody or still waiting for them charges?
Yeah, so the 4th person that we talked about that we anticipate charges within the next 24 hours or so is not in custody. We have identified that individual and we're actively looking for them right now. Before we apply for warrants, we need to exhaust all avenues, investigative avenues, to try to locate that individual, and we're not there yet. But the investigators believe we will have exhausted all avenues in a short time here, and if we don't have them, we'll apply for warrants.
Does this person know that you're looking for them?
We believe they do know, or they should know. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're actively avoiding, or if the messages aren't being passed on. I don't know.
When your messages aren't being passed on, do you spoke to their family members, friends?
Well, I'm not going to get into what we're doing to try to locate people, but obviously when we're out looking for somebody, we're going to talk to their friends and their family, and we're going to put a bunch of investigative avenues in place, and that's really investigators have been doing that for the last little bit here, trying to locate that individual.
All these individuals are on the pro-Palestinian side.
These are pro-Palestinians, correct? Yeah.
Can you describe the nature of the assaults?
Yeah. So it's they've been charged with common assault. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what actually took place, because that is now before the courts, and that will all form part of the trial, obviously. We have, as you're well aware, we had 2 groups that are very emotional, and it was a very emotionally charged incident, and the investigation's continuing. There may be other charges. There may be, we've been asking people that if you saw something, if you believe you were a victim of something, to come forward, and we stand by that. We still want people to come forward with information.
So these were the assaults that were captured on video in various media back then?
This was the altercation. Well, there were several altercations that were captured on video, as well as with still photographs and whatnot.
Where did the images of the wanted men come from?
They're all in open source, so they're all available on the internet. You know, one of the challenges with an investigation like this is you have several hundred people, very passionate and emotional people. There are thousands of images out there, including video. And I can tell you that some of the still photographs that we've seen and that are readily available on social media appear to show something. So, for example, there's one that the investigators found that if you look at that particular photograph, what it looks like is an individual is punching a victim. And it looks very clear when you do that. Part of the reason why we do a thorough investigation is to find out actually what happened. And in that particular case, when we take a look at that still video or that still photograph that looks like it's an assault taking place, and we compare it to other still photos that are being taken place, and we compare it to the video, and we go talk to the suspect and we go talk to the victims, and we find out that's not actually what happened. In fact, what we have is we have a Good Samaritan that is pro-Palestinian, that wants to stop the assaults that are taking place. It actually jumps in front to protect the victim. So, you know, it's not just about, investigations aren't just about a video or a single photograph. There's a lot of work that has to go into this. And we need to be responsible when we're doing this kind of work.
Other than the two that you already have sort of an eye out for, is there any other suspects you're currently looking for?
So we're gonna keep open-minded. We're continuing to look for other videos, other still photographs, other witnesses or victims that may come forward. I can tell you that as of last night, there was still new information that was coming in, and the investigators and the investigative team will take a look at all of that information.
What can you say about the length of time it's taken so far? It's almost a month after the incident took place to lay these charges.
I can say that I'm confident that what the investigative team did was a thorough investigation. I think what we owe the victims is to do a thorough, proper investigation. I'm proud that the investigators did not get tunnel vision, that there were a lot of people to talk to, there were a lot of images and video to go through, and it took a long time to do that. You know, we're not, I get that the community wanted some resolution to this quickly, and the investigative team did that as best they could, but it's much more important to make sure and do a thorough job. Can you imagine what that would look like if that person that looked in the photograph like they were assaulting somebody, we went out and arrested and charged that individual that was really a good Samaritan that was trying to help? So this is a complex investigation. It may seem easy when somebody watches a 30-second clip or sees a photograph. It's not that easy. It's complex.
Is there anyone on the pro-Palestinian side who's pressing charges against the pro-Israeli side?
So there's nobody. What I'd say is that if somebody else out there believes that they've been victimized, then we want them to come forward. There's still, the investigation's not done. There's still work that needs to go on, and we'll continue to investigate the entire incident.
This is a matter of police finding evidence of a crime and laying a charge based on that, not a person coming forward making a complaint of a crime.
Well, what we had is with the victims in this particular case, we had both happen. So we did have somebody come forward, but the investigators were also proactive in taking a look at the video and the stills and actually going out and trying to identify victims and talking, or potential victims, and talking to them.
There's lots of protests down at City Hall. A lot of them are actually peaceful. Will the police do anything differently now after this?
Well, I want to remind people that July 11th, these same two groups came together and had a protest, and it was a peaceful protest. So this was, in fact, the second protest that took place. It was clear when we look at a review that there was a communication gap, and there was always a plan to have resources available. That communication gap meant that those resources weren't deployed in time. So I think what we've seen is protests since with even greater numbers, and the police have, I think, an appropriate response. We've received accolades from both groups, and I know they're appreciative, obviously, of the police presence. So I think we have 600 major events or protests and rallies every year. 99% of them go off without a hitch and without any issues at all. And I hope that what will happen is in the near future, we will get back to the exact same.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one question. Did you say there were three assault victims? Is that right?
That's correct.
Were they three separate incidents where those victims were assaulted?
They were, no, I would characterize it as one incident that took place. It's when you have that many people and you have that much commotion going on, it's difficult to maybe characterize it in any one way. I would say that they were, the three victims were close proximity to each other when this took place.
Was there any property damage or any charges related to property damage?
Not yet, no.